Welcome to my cake kitchen. I'm Gladys, and if you see me for the first time, thank you for stopping by. Over here, I make simple, informative tutorials to help you navigate baking and decorating easily. Today, we're making a chocolate cake. This is my usual chocolate cake recipe that I have made here time and again. Time is against me. If you're wondering why you see me for the first time at this time of the day, it's because normally the lives are scheduled for 1 to 2 p.m. UK time, which means for my American audience, you get to see me very early in the morning, even before you have your cup of coffee. But in the UK, it's our summer break. It's 5-6 week summer break. So other responsibilities have crept into my commitments over here. So there's a bit of scheduling, some scheduling issues, but I promise I'm gonna make my best effort to show up every day. Seasons is here. Seasons lovely. It's just you and I, okay? We can catch up. How are you? Great to have you back, and thanks for stopping by always, for being such good sport, for being super helpful. Have you managed to make your video about our subject we were discussing yesterday? Anyway, it's too early to get into that. I am organizing for a chocolate cake. It's a chocolate cake that is going out for Friday. I haven't done anything. I'm kind of a little bit tight for time. So I thought it would be great to kind of bring you along the process. It's a very simplistic chocolate cake recipe. The recipe I've tried time and again. I have 2 different types of chocolate cakes that I like to make. One of which is not actually my own recipe. The one that I love the most. Mine is very convenient and easy to derive. If you've been on this channel before, you will know I love adaptable recipes. And what does adaptable recipes look like? You know what? If you're a complete beginner, you want a no-fail recipe where if you make the smallest baking or measuring mistake, it won't go against you. And those are the recipes I call adaptable. You can change things around without effort. So mine is completely adaptable. But my next best chocolate cake recipe is one by the absolute goddess, Claire Saffitz. She has an amazing chocolate cake recipe. But we're not making hers today. We're sticking with mine, which is very easy. Lollipop is in the chat. Lollipop, how are you, my lovely? God, the school holidays have us all kind of rethinking and reprioritizing our goals over here. So thank you for all of you stopping by. Suddenly I can see 14 people in the chat. I'm like, where have you lot been? Whatever you're doing, it's late, it's early evening here in the UK, but if you're in a different part of the world where it's midday or early afternoon for you, hello there. Thank you for stopping by. Do you want to leave a wave in the chat so we know who you are, where you're first of all, tell us who you are and where you're joining us from, okay? It will be great to have you. There's Ellie Griffith. Hi there. There's Sahim. There is Jimmy Granger. There is Lombard Guru. Okay, Loom. I'll say Loom. There is Ellie Griffith. There's Loom in the chat. There is Seasons. There is Jimmy Granger. Look, we have our everyday people, Seasons and Lollipop, sister to the channel. They will keep you company. If it's the first time you're seeing me here, right, I am just about to take some measurements of ingredients. I'm just weighing stuff up. So perhaps if you're chatting or catching up with me and I don't respond to you, I'm not ignoring you, but you're in great company. Jimmy says from Ireland. Jimmy, how are you, and how is Ireland? I hope you're having a good time wherever you are. And you're on UK time, so you're not, it's 5 p.m. here, and I hope it's 5 p.m. wherever you are. Get yourself a cup of tea, early evening. What are you doing? And what brings you here? Ellie, thank you for stopping by. All of you in the chat. Nicola, I need to come to Italy. Nicola, you have me crashing over Italy, okay? Into this pan, I need about 600 grams of sugar. But the recipe calls for both. You can mix it. You can have granulated sugar fully. You can have half and half. I want a depth of flavor to this chocolate cake. So I'm going to go for parts of white sugar and parts of dark brown sugar. And Nicola says, girl, come, you're always welcome. Girl, when I can't be prepared, I'm not leaving. Okay, that's my fear, because I kind of think I have so much responsibility that if I came, I will not leave. Okay, and you, I know, want to go to Malaysia in in October, and what would I be doing in Italy? I'm kidding, Nick. It would be lovely too. It would be lovely. Right, there is Fizzy. Fizzy says, I am auditioning for Bake Off next year. I tried this year but got rejected. Fizzy, welcome. Now, Fizzy, thanks for sharing that. Okay, I know Fizzy is not your name, and probably for good reason you want to be anonymous. That's okay, but thanks for sharing such great news. We're curious. Tell us, how did you get to auditioning, and what was the experience like? Never mind they rejected you. You know what they say? If at first you don't succeed, try again. So, Fizzy, go on, go try again. And you know what? Try as many times as you can, as possible as it can be. And you never know, the next chance might just be you. So I am so sorry for the rejection. But you know what? Rejection is just repositioning. It's all perspective. So now that you've had the experience, you know what it looks like. You know how to prep for it. So go on and prep for it and stick around and tell us more. Okay? We are interested in knowing what the experience is about. How did you get into it? And how long have you been baking for? We are curious. If you don't mind sharing, tell us all about it. Right, that aside, we have 600 grams of sugar here. And here is my little secret to a chocolate cake. Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola, Pepsi Max, anything fizzy. A good tip here. I need about 375. But I'm going to go for, let's see how much I can get here. Okay, I've got 350 and the 25 mils left, the little bit, the 25 mils left will be that of coffee, because coffee is going to also enhance the flavor of the chocolate for me. So there's 350 here and I need 375. Now you can have, the reason why I said it's all adaptable, you can have the entire quantity be coffee, hot coffee, or you can have half and half, which is fine. This is about 130 grams of chocolate. Oh, Fizzy says I do have to go. No worries, Fizzy. See you later. Bye. Okay. There you go. Right. We have 130 grams here. And then we are going for... Oh, Jaeger. Is it Jaeger? Oh, keep up the good work. Gotta go now. Need to support some more. Thank you, Jaeger. People, give it up for Jaeger. Stop by, made a donation, didn't make a fuss, and it's just going on. Jaeger, may good things find you, and thanks for your support, and blessings to you. Take care. Come back sometime. All of you, clap for Jaeger over there. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We so appreciate your support and your donation as well. Okay, that aside, we need about 375 grams of butter, and again you can do half and half. I am going for a bit of butter here for flavor. It's 125 butter, and then the rest will be oil, because oil then will bring texture and make the cake a little more moist for me. So we're going for some oil here. That seems like a lot of oil, but it's okay. We're going to survive. We're going to make it work. Okay. Yeah, the coffee hasn't come yet. We need some vinegar, right? You need 2 tablespoonfuls of vinegar. But you know what? Over here, we do vinegar and vanilla with a lot of love. So never mind. Okay. And there you go. And so all of that. And what do I need? Yeah, the coffee. We need 25 mils of coffee. So I'm going to make some hot coffee. It's just coffee granules. I don't need it to be hot. I just need warm water to melt the coffee granules. Otherwise, they will stick around. There you go. And with all of that done now, I am going to sit this on that to warm up, sort of boil up. We are not cooking it, by the way. We just want to bring it to a simmer so that all the ingredients will mix together, because we need the chocolate to kind of melt with the butter and to form a sauce, if you like. So you want to bring this up on low heat. The bottom of this base is so light, so I want to be extremely careful, and all we're doing here is bringing this to a simmer for everything to kind of mix together nicely. And then when it does, we're going to tip it in a bowl. We'll add sour cream, and then once that is done, we'll put it in the fridge to kind of cool whilst we get to our dry ingredients and our eggs. So that is essentially what we're doing. And then when we finish the sauce, sort our dry ingredients, I'm going to leave this. I'm going to leave this, and then we will make some buttercream, because this chocolate cake is going to be filled with white chocolate buttercream. So I'm going to take you, I don't think I have made white chocolate buttercream before on this channel. So I'm going to take you, it's still the same process as my my regular chocolate buttercream. One of them I have made a comprehensive video on the channel already for you. But if you haven't seen it, you can go and check it out, or I will link it here. Okay. And Nicola is asking what I'm making. Oh, I'm making a chocolate cake, but we are making a chocolate cake, but we may not be making it right yet. We are just prepping the ingredients and everything we need first, because the sauce, after we've made it, has to kind of cool down before we even use it, because if you use it when it's so hot, it will cook the eggs and you will have a bread-like looking cake instead of like a very nice sponge, fluffy, moist sponge. So that's what we are doing. By the way, every one of you in the chat, if you really do stop by and enjoy the content you are watching here, please do like the video, and perhaps do consider stopping by subscribing, you know, and be part of the community. We have a lot of fun here. You'll find quite a lot of useful, informative videos that are made for you to help you from point A to B, so you can learn to bake. So yeah, Seasons, where are you? Where are you in there? Is Seasons still here? Lollipop, my people, those of you in the chat, do like the video. Look, there is 15 of you and there is just about 5 likes here. I am not going to pretend I don't want the likes. I do. The simple reason being, it communicates some information to YouTube, okay? And then YouTube kind of checks me out and kind of helps me, okay? So please do that. Yes, Tatiana, our girls preferred just join the chat. Tatiana, I am later today because I had to make a time adjustment for the school holiday, okay? So I was out here doing mama duties. The school week is my blessing, you know, darling. I wouldn't even lie. When school is back and routine is normal, it's my blessing, because the time I come here to shout and have fun with you guys is when my son is in school and I'm having a great time over here, okay? But the school teachers need a break from our children. Okay, the school teachers need a break. You know what? I did think at some point we might just consider having the show a later show. I don't know, it's still developing, but yes, I know for my American audience, you have to get up, and even before you could grab a coffee, you are already here. So thank you. The commitment, you know what, this is how I know you guys are just like amazing, because the commitment you have, it's one thing, right? Just chancing onto a live and be like, okay, when I can. But it's another thing when you have to lose sleep, like literally go, oh, I don't want to miss the live, and then you wake up and you have to make a sacrifice for it. So thank you. It's never taken for granted, your presence here. But yeah, I think for the school holidays, it's most likely we're going to be having a lot of time adjustment, and it's going to be much later. And if that works for you, I am so happy. By the way, how are you all, and how has your day been? Me, I'll go first. I have been on mama duties, okay? And it's non-stop. Right now, I had to bribe somebody to kind of keep out of the way for a minute, whilst mama kind of gets like an hour to come hang out with you people. Like, mama has to come to work, okay? This is my job. And that's where we are, right? So let's make it work. So if you're just joining us, we are prepping for a chocolate cake. And like I said, we are making the chocolate sauce, just so you see what's happening here. We put all the ingredients here. Lollipop, if you don't mind, if Lollipop is still here, or Nicola, if you like to put the ingredients in the chat, so whoever, anybody who is interested may want to know. We had 600 grams of sugar, 300 granulated white sugar, and 300 dark brown sugar. That is for the dark brown sugar, brings texture and flavor, and enhances the flavor because of the presence of molasses. And then we have 125 grams of butter with 250 mils of vegetable oil, just flavorless vegetable oil. Then we had 25 mils of coffee to add to 350 mils of just fizzy Pepsi Max. You can replace it with Coca-Cola if you so desire. Then there's 130 grams of chocolate pieces that we lumped in there. 2 tablespoonfuls of vinegar, distilled pure vinegar, and then 2 tablespoonfuls of vanilla. That's where we are. So that's everything in there. And then you bring all of this to a simmer. She's only brought to a simmer. Everything is mixed together. So we are going to just turn this off. It's 600 grams of sugar. Yep. 125 grams of butter, 250 mils of vegetable oil, 25 mils of coffee, 350 mils of Pepsi Max, 130 grams of chocolate pieces, 2 tablespoons. Yeah, Lollipop, seems like you've got everything together. So method, bring it to a simmer over low heat. Bring it to a simmer over low heat and let everything melt together. And that's where we are. Let me get myself a glass bowl. I would normally just leave this to the side so it cools down, but I want you to see what is in the bowl. So I'm going to pour that all out so that you can see what it is like. See, everything is kind of melted together. Lollipop said the toddler has only left her side twice in 3 years. I would say the same about my little guy too. He's literally sat next in the lounge whilst I'm in the kitchen. Between his dad and myself, he doesn't go anywhere. Okay? I think that is why I'm so grateful for what I do, because at least I have time to make sure I am not running around making an alternative arrangement, like leaving him from pillow to post, which is in itself, is a blessing. Tatiana said, I'm listening whilst getting ready for work. Okay, darling. There's not much happening here. So this, we are going to add I'm just going to get the sour cream. Good Vibes is back. Good Vibes. I am a little later today. Good Vibes, how are you, lovely? Children are so expensive, my dear. You know, when we say it takes a village, it takes a real village. Especially, I think one of the hardest adjustments I have had to make, especially in England here, is how costly childcare is and how difficult. I'm not talking, when I say it's difficult, I'm not talking about the responsibility. I mean, if you have a child, it's yours to take care of, and I'm not mad about that. But I'm talking about, I come from a culture where everybody chips into the child caring responsibilities, as in the everyday actionable things. Your neighbors are here holding a hand, your family, like literally. I mean, there are good sides and bad sides. You know, the good sides are that you have family who, people will be offended if you do not invite them to be a part of the actions that are happening when you've had a baby. People will be offended because culturally it's almost like it's a fulfilling thing for individuals and family members to be present for you, to hold your hand, and people will literally leave their responsibilities over here and come and make sure that after you've had a baby, you're taken care of, you know, from mother-in-law to your sister-in-laws to, you know, your own family members. It's actually a thing. And I think the closest equivalent is like I think is it Southeastern Asian cultures, where I think in Korea or something, where when you have a baby you go to is it a birthing center where you're taken care of and they make you food and all of that. Well, you don't go anywhere else in Ghana to be taken care of, but sometimes you can go back to, say, if you're a married woman and you live with your husband away from your parents, at the time you have a baby, sometimes you can go back to your mom's house. She may be living far away from you, but it's actually a thing to make an arrangement to go and stop, like for the first couple of months, so that your mom can support you actively. You rest, she cooks for you, and she does all of these things. And where possible, sometimes you come back to your marital home and your mother or your in-law will actually come. Culturally, it's a celebrated occasion where either of the families will have a designated elder to come and stop with you. And their business is just to make sure you are fed, the baby is looked after, you go to sleep. And it's just like all great, right? Because you don't realize after you've popped that baby out for the first few months, like your hormones are high, you are tired. Over here, you are on your own, okay? You are literally on your own. Good Vibe says, hi, Gladys. How are you, Miss Gladys? The chocolate mix is looking tasty, darling, isn't it? Isn't it always looking great? Okay. Nicola says, I was blessed. Yeah, you know what? Lollipop says, that's a blessing. That would be amazing. I'll be doing that for my daughter. Darling, you know what? Don't we all wish to do that for our own? The things that we missed out on, you know? I remember what it felt like when I brought my son home. Well, you know what? I can't even complain because when I had him, we had to stay in a hospital for 10 days extra for other health reasons. So, and you know what? The 10 days were such a blessing, to be honest, okay? The 10 days were such a blessing. I had some good nurses look after me. We had a private room allocated for us. I had such an amazing time. Plus, it can never be underrated when you have a present, active, supportive partner, right? So his dad wasn't just, I say was it, look at him, he's not in the past. But I'm talking about the birth in the past. Oh God. Dad isn't just like, oh, he's a man, he doesn't know, no, he's right in, he's doing the showers, look, I slept through after I had a baby. The whole thing makes me laugh, okay? So I slept, people. I used to, like, it wasn't even that hard to even, because we were in it together. So I remember coming home, and then I will, like, make sure baby is fed, and I will pump his milk and store them. and dad is on it. So when he had is it 2 weeks paternity leave or something, when I get all my, it was like a job, right? You get all your bits done, you leave notes and everything, and he's like, got this. So come say 9-10 o'clock, I am off to bed, and then he takes on the night shift, and the morning comes, he goes to bed or he runs errands for the family, and then I start all over again, have a shower, make sure babies. So it was like a rotational thing. So even though we didn't get outsiders help as I would like in my culture, like I wish my mom was here, or like, and all of that, it wasn't such a struggle as compared to other people who have partners or who are in a situation where they have to almost like embrace the responsibility singularly, so that their partners will be doing other things also independently of them. It is not always the case that the partner is not involved, but sometimes they're involved, but in other ways that is not directly connected to the looking after of the child, which can still make the process extremely difficult, you know. So I mean, yeah, child rearing in the UK is just like, I don't know about people. You're all, what part of the world are you in, and what is your experience with parental responsibility, like the actionable part of looking after a baby, taking care of the child, and going and coming? What's your experience over there? I can see Nicola was saying something up there that her mom helped. The chat has moved on, but I want to hear your stories. Okay, what is it like? Nicola says, you ladies will laugh at what I'm doing now. I'm doing squats whilst watch. Nicola, you know what, Nicola, you go for it. Because you know what? I was looking at your videos and I'm like, Nicola keeps banging on, oh, I'm 54, I'm 54. 54 where? Like, I want, Nicola, give me your surgeon's details. Don't be offended though. All I'm saying is that you look good, okay? The skin looks tight. Now I know you are over there doing squats. I need to know, please, I need what, between you and Tatiana, I need a personal a personal training plan so that I can try and get in shape. Let's go and put this away for now. Okay. Whew. Okay. Lollipop says, more power to you. I'm laying on the sofa. Lollipop, you know what? I have to come to work and stand here. Otherwise, I'd be on the sofa too. Okay? Hello. I want to be on my sofa. You know, the best part is all of Tatiana getting ready for work whilst listening. Nicola doing squats whilst typing in between. I mean, I'm glad you have a source of entertainment whilst you're doing all of these things. Good for you. Okay. Oh, Lollipop said, I had my mum at my first birth, and she had to travel home and work. So I was doing 90% of the work with the baby. You know what? Having a mom around when you have a baby has to be one of the biggest blessings, even if it's for a hot minute. Okay? So I can almost understand. Lollipop says, I love my look. We all love the sofa. Good Vibe says, I'm near Philadelphia in Pennsylvania. Not a parent yet, but from what I've seen, it's not easy. It requires a strong village of support. I respect all the moms and dads of the world. Good vibes. Aren't you good vibing over here? We appreciate your thought. Yes, it does take quite a lot. It does take a strong, it's a lot. Okay? And when I say it's a lot, it's not like a reason to complain. It is just acknowledging how lucky I was in the environment I was brought up in, where the community is just willing. They are all up in your business. So you are living in a community of values and people who just will you on and support you. Okay, so you are never feeling alone or lonely because the community is all out here. Whereas over here, I remember, oh, no. It's a lot. That's all I'm saying. Like, between having to work and still provide and be present, something has to give. And at some point, you just have to choose your battles and just stick with them. And for that, I always say I am so, so, so grateful for the season of my life within which I am. Okay. Believe me when I tell you, it's a huge sacrifice. Okay. I could be out here doing one or many things in my world, you know, doing anything I could imagine and being financially successful. But some days you just have to pick your battle and just be grateful for the opportunity you have in front of you. And my biggest blessing today is that in this season, and despite the difficulties and challenges, when I wake up, the first thing is not to shoot through the door where my child is a secondary thought. Okay, because sometimes, unfortunately, that is the feeling and that is the circumstance parents find themselves in. Because you know what? If you have an unsympathetic manager who, despite provisions to support parents to be at work, your unsympathetic manager thinks you are on your last straw, okay? The warning, the absences have been too much. And it's probably not your fault, because kids will raise your bill and still force you to do less, if you like. Because their presence alone, the bill just shoots up. Because you have a whole person that requires all these things that is financially costly, and yet in actuality it reduces your ability to earn physically. That if you're not a high income earner already. I'm talking relatively about, look, if you earned a meager 50,000 salary, that is not going to change because you had a child. If anything, the child comes with a hefty bill of 20K per year including every provision, and yet your salary is still 50K because your employer is not going to make an adjustment for an increment because you have an extra mouth to feed over here. Oh, okay, I'm not going to be mad. Okay, Gladys, don't be mad. Don't be mad. Now, Gladys, don't be mad. Calm down. Okay, Carrie says, I am in Colorado. I live in Colorado. When my daughter was young, my husband was alive. We fought over who was going to take care of her. My daughter was 3 when we lost her father. I was lucky I had great in-laws. Carrie, thank you for sharing that. Okay, people, Carrie, we're sending you hugs and thank you for sharing. You know what? That is why I love these lives, because otherwise, where would we be hearing these personal stories? I am so grateful for having you in this space, sharing your stories about parenting. Carrie, I am so, so sorry for your experience. 3 years old to lose a husband. Oh. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, people, send Carrie some love. Okay, how is it now? How many years ago was this, and how do you look back at that situation now? Because I cannot for the life of me imagine how hard to have a 3-year-old. God bless you. Okay, thank you for sharing that. That's why I love these lives. I do. Because you never know what story you'd be hearing. And it's always a humbling experience. Because if you're over here complaining about your hard lot, and then you hear a story like that, it kind of brings it home. Because sometimes when it's far away, you think it's just so far off. And then suddenly you think, wow. Whew. Lollipop says, yes, it reminds us of how vastly different our lives are, my dear. Because some days we wake up, oh, if you catch me on a complaining day, I've told you, I'm a recovery complainant. Eesh, I complain. Carrie, all I can say is, darling, I'm sending you hearts and thank you for sharing that, because stories like this just kind of drives us back. So you know what? Just be grateful for your lot in the moment, okay? Because as a recovering complainant, I would have reason to complain about any and everything. He's like, he's doing this, he's not doing it enough. I'm like, why is this? Why is that? Eventually, the Holy Spirit is like, kaput. Stop complaining. Stop. So I am a recovering complainant. Okay, we're getting there. Gradually, we'll make it happen. Okay? Good Vibes says, may I know what you're making? Good Vibes? Okay. We are prepping for a chocolate cake. The first part of the chocolate cake is what has been made, the sauce. And the sauce was left to simmer, warm. In its warm form, we can't do anything with it. So we have to leave it to cool, which is what in the fridge now. We've just put that in the fridge, the chocolate base. I call it a base, which is the liquid part of the chocolate cake. Now we are moving on to measuring the dry ingredients, which includes the self-raising flour, including a bit of rising agent, some salt, and cocoa powder, which is a dry ingredient. We'll get that sorted, left to the side whilst the sauce is still cooking. And then we'll move on to making some white chocolate buttercream. That's what we're doing. So, Lollipop, if you can just update the chat quickly, what we are doing, tasks for the live. So, just so that when people come in, they are clear on what the tasks are: prepping the wet ingredient for the chocolate cake. Whilst it's cooling, we're prepping the dry ingredients, which will be set aside. And then task 3 will be making the white chocolate buttercream. And by the end of that, those are the 3 tasks we will complete, be done. And perhaps I'll leave it. Yeah, well, I'll leave it and I will bake the cake off the live. Or I may start, I don't know. If it cools enough, we may be able to start the bake whilst we're still here. If it doesn't cool enough, I will bake off the live. Just for your reassurance, the chocolate cake, I have derived it on this channel time and again. You'll find it in previous lives, and I've actually created the recipe in long form, so you can find it on long form. It is actually not a new recipe at all. I'll leave the details in the description box. But if you're just joining us, just for your reassurance, we have already recapped the ingredients in the chat, so you can find it over there. Seasons says, okay, Season is catching up with what our day was like, because I was asking before we got into the heavier stuff of parenting, we were asking about how everybody's day was, and she's like, it was fairly easy for me. The key was preparations. Oh, okay, perhaps Seasons is joining the chat about parenting and prepping. So fairly easy preparation, supplies, ingredients for easy cooking soups. And although I had help, I still wanted to be the one who tended to the baby in the nights, and it worked. You know what? You can never beat prepping for anything, especially when you're prepping for a new arrival, as in prepping for a birth. So either way, I think the first few months of postpartum experience still involves you, the mother, being there, you know. So good for you. I don't think one way works better than the other. I always say, I am just like, maybe I'm just lazy or I'm just too princessy. I don't know. I slept and it worked. He's all right. I'm just saying, okay? I know some mothers who will not even like close their eyes at the thought of their child not being with them, even if the child is with their dad and the dad is next to them. They're like, no, this is my territory. Mama Bear is home. I'm like, you know what? He helped make that child. Let him suffer too. No. Oh, Carrie. Oh. Sunita. Hi, Sunita. Hi there. And Mark and Carrie and Seasons. You know, so I'm like, he helped make that baby. How unfair it is. That little moment of pleasure is going to make me suffer a lifetime. Like, what nonsense. Good vibes. Yeah, it does. It really takes two. So look, first of all, I had to carry the baby for 9 months and all the stress that comes with with all of that. But you know what? Some days you just have to be grateful for your little blessings. I had a great pregnancy. Okay, I'm not complaining. I'm not. But I'm like, come do some work too. Anyway, let's get to the dry ingredients. Oh, Jonah, hello from Sweden. How are you? Jonah, thank you for stopping by. Hello from my kitchen here in England. Great to have you. Jonah, we are great, right? I hope you've had a good day. How is your day? Lollipop, I just left the screaming. Lollipop says, I just left the screaming toddler with dad and came to the kitchen so I can hear the life. Good for you, Lollipop, okay? Good for you. Some days you've just got to do that. Nicola says, I was ultra cautious with my firstborn. After that, all the way until the 4th, I took it easy. My dear. Oh, it's Joanne. Okay, it's Jonah, yeah. Cakes by Samina. Cake shop by, okay, Samina. Hi there, darling. If you're just joining us, Jonah. Is it Jonah? Is it Jonah or Jonah? Which one? It's Jonah A or Jonah B or Joanna C. Which one? Which is the pronunciation? No, from Kuwait. It's okay. Jonah says Okay. Jonah says, I'm good. It's been a busy day, but I took a dip in the lake. Ooh. Jonah, take 2 dips for me too, okay? But I'm not joining. I can't swim. I ain't trying to drown out here, okay? Okay, so it's Jonah or Jonah. Now, talking about Jonah, this is a quick detour. I saw a comment somewhere. For those of you who, for my Christian audience, if you're Christian, you're welcome. If you're not, it's not a problem. You're still welcome. We're not making this a Bible class. Don't worry. You stick around. I'm just passing a joke. I was just giving you some context. I saw somewhere. Well, I was actually just looking at an online Bible study class. And I saw a comment that made me chuckle a little bit. That sometimes, you know, when the Lord orders people in the Bible to do stuff and the people are reluctant. And Jonah is a classic example. Jonah, it's your name that has brought the story back, okay? Just bear with me. So Jonah is a classic example of being commissioned to do something or being ordered to do something, and he kicked against it. And another person in the Bible was Saul. When Saul was struck down, for those of you who don't know anything about the Bible, it's fine. We'll leave this for a minute. Just bear with me. In the Bible, like Saul gets struck down on his way to Damascus. He's blind, and then Ananias is instructed to go and pray for Saul so that Saul can see. And Ananias is a little resistant until he gives in and then follows through the instruction. And we all know how the story ended, okay? Somebody in the comment section went, can you imagine if the Lord had sent Jonah to go pray for Ananias? If the Lord had sent Jonah to go pray for Saul, Saul will never see and he would never become Paul. And the joke is, Jonah would have gone off and done something completely different. And Saul, as we know now, would never become Paul. And the epistles that has become a very formative pillar in our biblical studies will never come to be. So the point here is that, you know what, the Lord sends his own, and he sends the right people at the right time. That's all. We'll leave the Bible study part out here. That's all. Okay. JG. Oh, okay. So Jonah quickly clarified their name. They're like, no, I'm not Jonah, I'm Jintin. Okay, but you know what? In your handle, it's Jonah O. Okay, it might. Okay, Jintin. Jintin. Jintin was quick to deassociate from Jonah and be like, it's not me. Okay, Jintin. Okay, great to have you. Sometimes the handles are very different. JG says, I believe. Okay. God's timing is impeccable, isn't it? It is always impeccable, and he always knows who to choose. Because had he chosen Jonah for Saul, we would never see the book of Romans, okay? We would never see the epistles. Oh, Lord. Okay. She is not Jintin, dear. She is Jonah. Okay, look, people. No, someone asked if I was Jonah. Jonah Jintin. Okay. Jonah. Your name has resurfaced a Bible story, and suddenly it's like it's moving. Okay, your name is Jonah. Okay, great. Got it. All right. We like to get the name right. We do. Okay. For those of you in the chat, all of you, thank you for stopping by. Okay. We have had such a great time so far. What are you doing in this moment? Me, I'm trying to get the dry ingredients, and I'm gonna just move on to making the buttercream. I need 450 grams of self-raising flour over here. Okay, we need 450 grams of that, and then we want to add about 80 grams of cocoa powder. We just want to make sure that the chocolate is chocolated. Okay. There you go. That's a lot of chocolate over here, but that is what makes this chocolate cake so good. And never ever forget to add some salt. For your baked goods, add a pinch of salt. Well, this is more than a pinch. You're looking at about 7 to 10 grams of salt, yeah? I think I went for 6 instead, okay? And then we'll sift this together. If you don't sift it, the cocoa powder will sit on it and will not mix well. And sometimes cocoa powder can be a bit lumpy, especially the Dutch process. And by the way, just a quick note, if you're wondering what Dutch process is, it has just been I can't say alkalized. Okay, it can be the Dutch process means that the cocoa powder has been alkalized, making the pH stable, so it doesn't react to anything. It is darker and has such subtle mouthfeel. In terms of flavor, there's not a lot to it. It's different from natural cocoa, though. That has a pH that reacts to your acidic ingredients in your bakes. So, for instance, natural cocoa was the original cocoa recommended for making red velvet. Just a little tip for you to know. So, what is now known in modern times as red velvet was nothing to do with red food coloring. It was actually a reaction between the natural cocoa that was in the recipe reacting with the acidic ingredients, as in your buttermilk and buttermilk, to give you a sort of a dark brown looking cake. But of course, as modern times will have it now, we have red velvet that has red food coloring, which is a variation of the original recipe. And into the dry ingredients, I'm going to throw in, this is one of the few times in baking that I tend to add some additional rising agent to my self-raising flour, and I am going to go for just a full tablespoonful of is it teaspoonful and a quarter. So we have a full teaspoonful of baking soda and half a teaspoonful of baking powder, because there's a lot of liquid in the recipe, so you want to make sure that it will rise. And the reason why sometimes you may require both baking soda and baking powder are not the same thing. Okay, baking powder has a base added to it, so it's fast rising and doesn't require an interaction between any acid ingredient. It can rise by it can cause the rise by itself, whereas baking soda is a base that requires a reaction with acidic ingredients, as in cocoa powder or vinegar in the recipe to kind of rise. That's the difference. Now, why would you require both? Sometimes it is for balance, because sometimes when you go for just too much quantity of baking soda, you end up with a metallic taste, and it is the same for baking powder. So bringing half and half, or whatever the quantity is of both, because they react differently, they kind of bring balance to the recipe and help still leaven your bake properly. And that is the small information that you should note about why you may require both. But if you want to see whether a recipe has an acidic base or an acidic ingredient, look at what rising agent is recommended. If it says baking powder, the recipe may not necessarily need an acid in there to assist the rise. Whereas if it requires solely baking powder or a mix, a baking soda, if it requires baking soda or a mix, there's an acid in there which may come in the form of the cocoa or vinegar or buttermilk in there. Just a little bit of baker's information to help you understand the quantities and reactions of ingredients. That's all. So now that we've mixed that together, let's just sift everything together and leave it to the side, and we'll be checking on our wet ingredients to make sure. Nicola, are you inviting me for sticky toffee pudding? Nicola, you are looking for trouble for yourself, inviting me for anything. I will never leave. I will be the most uncultured guest. I will overstay my welcome and will never leave. Can you put up with that? Let's see. Let's wipe the work table. Okay, that is all done now. Nicola says, come over, I want company. Nicola. Oh. Be careful what you wish for. You might just get it. And you may just not like it. Okay? You know what? Be careful what you wish for. You might just get it. Okay? Right. I think the chocolate base, yeah, it's cool now. You can eat and talk till the sun goes down. Okay. I think I'm going to go off and have a baby. And I'm going to invite you over to come and look after me. Because I know I'm going to get some good food, isn't it? I'm going to get some good foods. Yeah. I can see a comment in there. Nicola was saying yogurt in the recipe or add lemon juice. Yes, lemon juice, an acid, vinegar, buttermilk, yogurt. Yes, all of that interact with baking soda to help with rise. Now we've got this sorted. Let me get some eggs. I actually didn't plan to bake this on the live, so I can't even find one of my pans. You know, this is how unorganized I have been today. Okay, you know what, we're gonna make it work. I have already, let me, okay, who is one of those people who sticks stuff in their ovens when the oven is not in use? They use the oven as a storage item. That's me. I store my baking trays and stuff in my oven. Okay, let's go and preheat our oven. Okay, whilst I'm trying to think, where did I put this pan? I don't know. You know, I mean, we are all the same people, isn't it? If you want, you know what they say, if you want something real, just stop by over here. We live here. I live here. What you see is exactly what's happening. Like, I literally had a tray of cooking oil sitting at the base of my oven, okay? And the grill on top. Yep, that's me. Half of the time I have to literally get stuff out. But you know what? Today I couldn't organize, like, prep in advance. So I'm like, we are doing what we have, people. We are just doing what we have. So we need 5 eggs. Let's get the eggs, because it will probably be a good thing to start the bake and then do the buttercream. Yep, baking pans, racks, and everything sits in it. For the new 17 people who have stopped over here, my lovelies, thank you for stopping by. Who are you? Where are you joining us from? That is, if it's your show by hand, if it's your first time you're stopping by, because we love you to introduce yourself so that we get to know you, so that if we see you on these streets, YouTube streets, we can say hello, and we're nosy, okay? We're nosy. We just want to get to know you. We're not nosy for wrong reason, okay? So when we ask after you, it is not for anything other than the fact that we just want to know who is here so that we can acknowledge you. So come on, don't be shy. We are nice people. You know what they say, if someone has to tell you they're nice, you probably have to think twice, okay? Because nice people just are nice. They don't say it. No, I'm kidding. But hey, we are nice over here. If you stick around, you will see. We don't want to overreact it, but it's true, okay? We are real lovely people. Season says we don't bite hard. We don't bite at all. Except yesterday we were out here biting the, what is his name? The CEO. What is his name? The astronomer. The astronomer who okay. I think everything we wanted to say yesterday, we said it. So let's leave it. And if you've been hiding under a rock, go and check the internet. Except the UK has lost one of its own. Who knows Ozzy Osbourne? The poor guy died. Shall we talk about it? Seasons. Shall we? There's a game now. Where is Waldo? But where is the affair? Where is the affair? Where is the affair at Coldplay concert? It didn't. God, it didn't help though. Susan said, I thought I'd hash today. Has the Holy Spirit told you to sit down? Are you like me sometimes? After you've come on the internet and said whatever you want to say, you're left wondering, should I have said it? Shouldn't I? Should I? Like, if you are like me, right? I say whatever I want to say, right? And that's a lot for me, because I know I'm on the internet. And you have to be wary of what you say on the internet, because it lasts forever. There's a lot of intention about it, especially when it's something very controversial and very moral-ish, okay? Because we're all flawed human beings. And like I said, the thought was not to judge the poor guy. He has probably gotten more than what he bargained for. Do we feel sorry for him? Oh, poor guy. We are not judging, you see. But some days you come on the internet and you say what you have to say. Good vibes. Good vibes. Okay? Whew. Anyway, Ozzy died. That's the sad part. Prayers for Sharon and her family. He was such a legend, wasn't he? I can't tell you. This is me. I can't tell you I know anything about Ozzy Osbourne and his music. Not at all. But as someone who is recovering from pop culture gossip, I love that stuff. I would sit through Wendy Williams. Oh, and that woman had a natural talent for delivering gossip in a way that nobody can do it. And I used to sit there, and the only time I would know about any celebrity is where whatever they are doing, I wouldn't care about or know about what they're doing unless it intersects with some sort of scandal or activity that has blown up. Okay? So for instance, I'm trying to think about somebody in modern times that something like that may relate to, right? For instance, we know Ozzy Osbourne is a legend in rock band and whatever he did, right? And I think perhaps he is more than that. But the only thing I know about him is because Sharon Osbourne was a judge on X Factor for a very long time, and they did reality TV, and he was involved in an accident, and his life became salacious because the accident and recovery all were in the public eye, so there was almost like news about him all the time. But beyond the scandal and sensationalism about him, all I know is that he's a musician. But either way, it's probably so sad that Sharon is lost. Her husband and their children have lost their father, and it's all in the news. And, it's well, Lollipop can tell us more about. He had Parkinson's. Oh, okay, and a bad back from the quad accident. Yes, I think that is the prevailing story of Ozzy Osbourne. Like, the Parkinson's he had also helped. Is it the bad back is it the Parkinson's that led to the slurred speech? Because when he speaks, he used to speak, his speech was slurred and all of that. But either way, poor guy. Yes. Okay. Seasons. The Cosby Show actor Malcolm Jamal Warner. Okay. Tell you what. That man, obviously, after he passed, I come to find out, I remember watching the Cosby Show when I was back in Ghana. But hear me when I say, where I grew up, the Cosby Show was on the telly and we watched it, but I didn't have an appreciation or understanding of it as the phenomenon that it later would become. Like, besides Bill Cosby's issue over here, the show was a thing. And I think for my American audience, it means a lot to you, my African American audience, because I have since gone back. Obviously, when you grow and you are exposed to a different culture and you understand the nuance of their experiences and what TV shows represent, you have a deeper understanding of something that you would have taken for granted. So there's two understandings in that way for me, that if I was just in Ghana and you asked me about Cosby Show, I know it as a show that was shown in Ghana, and I don't understand what its cultural relevance would have been now that I know. And of course, the subject of Malcolm Jamal Warner. But tell you what, the only thing I knew about Malcolm Jamal Warner up until he passed was his relationship with Regina. Is it Regina King? The actress who lost a son. It would be Regina King. Yeah, that is the only thing. And that also speaks for the fact that I was saying I'm somebody who loved, not anymore, I try to kind of like wean myself of that behavior, but I love pop culture gossip. And I think the scandal of that relationship was they knew each other for a very long time, and then she, Regina King, ended a relationship and ends up with like her friend, and then they broke up on Valentine's Day. Scandal. But yeah, he passed. What a freak accident and what a sad loss. So needless. Look, maybe if I stop talking and I plugged this in, it would work. So yeah, in a week, there's Malcolm Jamal Warner. Yeah, good vibes. It's King, yeah. So in a week, we've lost Malcolm Jamal Warner. We've lost Ozzy. It's like, oh, time flies so quick. And you think, you can't even be promised tomorrow. Dear God, look after us. Teach us to number our days. That's all. Now, let's go make the chocolate cake. So what are we doing? Okay, we are introducing our liquid ingredients into the dry. Okay, so we've added half of the liquid in here. And what I am going to do, this is the tricky part, you want to be careful. I'm using a hand mixer because for the quantity, a hand mixer will do the job just fine. And then just when it's beginning to mix, you can add the rest of the liquid. And you can see it's starting to bubble up. And I'm going to get the hand mixer. And then into that I am now going to add the eggs. Look at how saucy this looks. is the part you want to be extremely careful. One wrong move by moving the mixer and you have a splatter of sauce everywhere, and it's not going to be pretty. I speak from experience. I've tried it and it's not pretty. It's messy. You will look super messy. That is not good at all. Okay, now we're gonna put that over here and get this mixing. And then we get all of that. Okay, look at, I like this chocolate cake, but the way it's, when it starts making a mess, it's a mess. Right, you know what? I haven't prepped my other tin. Now I'm like questioning my own choices. Okay, that is one stage here. I don't know where I left my other tin, so you know what, I'm gonna just leave this to sit whilst I bake this one. It will come out great. It's fine. Let's get this in there. What is the time? It's nearly past. It's going to be in for almost like the entire hour. I swear when I look around, I probably just moved this pan and put it somewhere, thinking that I'll come back to it, and now I can't even remember. You know, when you live in a small kitchen and you're always making decisions, you should. It's 6:20, so it's going to be in for the next hour, and it can go up to an hour and a half because I'm baking at 160 degrees C, which is fine for this oven, but the rest will be fine. The butter saves well. You can leave it to sit till morning and then you can mix it all back up, but I'm not doing that. I'm just leaving it on the countertop at room temperature, and then when this finishes baking, I will prep the tin and then put it back in. So there we have it. And then, so that's it. Chocolate cake done. The next, I think I'll be back baking this same chocolate cake anyway, because the young man's birthday, remember last year, whoever was here last year same time, we made a cake for my son. We made a chocolate cake. Well, his birthday is coming up, so we're going to be making him another chocolate cake. He doesn't like anything else but a chocolate cake. That aside, let's tidy up and move on to when we spoke about cake pans. Remember, these were some of my old pans I bought when I started baking. And whilst they may be great, this will not be good for this kind of batter. It will leak, and I just don't want the hassle. So there we are. There you go. Now, what are we doing? We are making buttercream, okay? We have 300. Oh, okay. Lollipop says, I don't think I was here then, but happy early birthday to the little producer. The little producer is just excited. We are not doing anything. You know what? As a parent, I really enjoyed doing absolutely nothing, because making him a cake was just nothing, if you know what I mean, because I make cakes. So it's like, okay, it's an exciting thing. And he loves chocolate cake. So much so, he literally tells me, I want the same chocolate I had last time so he wants the same chocolate cake with the same things on it, because he loves it that much, right? He loves chocolate that much, especially my chocolate cake. So I have enjoyed doing absolutely nothing for his birthday, but he turns 8 and he's able to speak and choose what he wants. So he's told me, he's like, he wants to do stuff with his friends. And this is, I guess I accept now, this is the point I will start spending money I don't have. That said, Seasons was saying, I always thought those pans are I always wondered if those pans will hold liquid. They would if you make an adjustment for them. They would, okay? Which means if this is what you call a spring foam pan. When we had the chat about cake tins and cake pans, we said these were not really optimized for professional baking, if you like. But they are okay to do the job. But you have to be very careful because they are spring foam. Some of them do not seal, okay? So if you want to kind of get best results, to use these ones, get ahead of it by either sitting a greaseproof paper or baking sheet in it to seal that gap, or wrap the base with foil so that if it leaks, it will sit in. Do you know what I mean? But it's not like the butter is going to seep out. But this kind of butter is watery, as you can see. It's very liquidy, so it will kind of leak out a little bit. But if you put like the other form of butter that has a hold a little bit, it will be okay. So it's neither here nor there, but in terms of quality and convenience, they are not the best for your baking results. That's all. I spoke in very detailed about that when we did the when we talked about baking pans, so that video is still up. In the meantime, I'm going to sift this sugar. I will always say, no matter how you feel about your sugar, just sift it, because you don't want to take the risk of not sifting it only to find out down the line that you have lumps in it. And if you wonder what I'm looking for my sift. Okay, this is 500 grams of sugar. Take away the packaging and you have 495 grams. It's neither here nor there for me, so I'm not going to sit this over a scale. I'm just gonna pour it. Actually, we might just want to find out exactly how much it weighs, just so I can tell you I know for a fact. That's all. And so you will know for yourself too, right? There you go. But anyway, since we are streaming today, like very much late, for some of you it's still lunch wherever you are, whatever part of the world you are, it's lunchtime or early afternoon for you. What are you doing? Seasons, what's up with you? What are you doing today? I know Lollipop is sat on the sofa. Nicola is over there doing cartwheels. Yeah, it's still 500 grams. Okay, great. Thank you. Lollipop is sat on the sofa. Nicola is doing cartwheels. I am stood here. What is everybody doing wherever you are? I am nosy. I want to know what you're doing over there. Those of you who are just sat there drinking coffee and mindlessly watching a live, let us know what's going on with your life over there. We are just nosy people. Okay? So this week in the news, there has been people who have passed away. But there are also some exciting things. Turns out, Daily Mail is reporting, glad nobody asked for it. Okay, let's just talk about it because it's just something fun to talk about. Daily Mail is reporting our Duchess has been, and the husband has been dumped by Netflix. Do we care? Show by hand if you care. What are we going to do for gossip? I mean, Netflix, the show wasn't good. You know, I'm not surprised. Look, I'm not hating on the woman. It's okay. But the show wasn't great, okay? I watched the thing. I wanted to give it... It's not. So it's fine. She's still got money. She's going to be all right. And she and her husband are going to be fine. But the show isn't great. That's all. Why am I sifting the sugar? So that I can rid of lumps. And then look at that. Okay, so you can look at this. Okay, they're hard bits. I don't need those. Okay, I am very certain now that my sugar there you have it. Now we have butter. I am going for a 1-to-1 ratio. Is it? No, a 1 to 1.5 if you like it. Yeah, so we have 500 grams of sugar and I'm going for 375 grams of butter, so that it's not like exactly. So it's, oh no, it's not 1-to-1. That's where my knowledge of maths falls flat. It's a 1 to 0.75 ratio ish. For those of you who know the maths, please tell us, right? We have 500 grams of sugar here and 375 grams of butter. What is the ratio here? Ratios and probability. This is, I'm a baker, okay? I'm no mathematician or scientist, and I have the skill to do the job for me. So I don't even like, I just want you to get the details right, that's all. So we have this butter. Where's the other one? Okay, that's 250, and then we want to add 175. We're going for half of it. I don't mind. And then the weather is very warm. This is I'm starting with American buttercream here. That is the base for the buttercream because we're making white chocolate, which is the equivalent chocolate to regular dark chocolate buttercream. So we're throwing that in here, and let's get the mixer out. People, when I tell you I have a very small kitchen and I try to make it well, look. In here, look. it's not just my oven that has things stored in it, okay? Okay. My mixing bowl has other stuff stored in it too. Move it. We are starting with, yep, right, and into that we are having our butter first. Now we want to cream our butter for about 5 to 6 minutes just to make sure it pales out a bit in color. There you go. And then there you go. Now when the mixer starts going, it's going to be a little noisy. So if I don't talk to you, I'm not ignoring you at all. It's because this is so noisy. Jen Thompson, hi there. Oh, okay. Jen, and Season says no faking, no perfection. That's the main reason I love this channel, honey. Thank you. You know what? You guys just give me the confidence to show up as myself every day. Okay? You guys do that. Because I'm sure the way I feel today wasn't the way I felt before nearly 9,000 of you showed up here. Okay? I remember how the palpitations I had. You know what? You're into YouTube, right? You grow your own channel. Let's get this going and let me finish and I'll talk to you properly. You know, I love you guys because you guys just make me feel better about just showing up. Of course, there is a balancing act where you almost like don't want to kind of cave the wall in altogether. But what you're seeing is a real aspect of my life that if the camera wasn't on, I would still be dabbling out here and things falling out and still trying to figure it out. Does that affect my skill? No. It is just representative of what is true about my skill. In that when you go on the website and the cakes look so perfect, you're like, oh, look, it's all from this chaos. But I'm not God. He's the only person who makes perfection from chaos. But at least we try. Okay? We try. There you go. We will just get this creaming for about 6 minutes. In the meantime, let's try and get some order in this kitchen. I can't wait to actually get, when I finally move and I film the kitchen for you to see. Because I told you, we're not doing a house tour. We will never. Because I like to just go and sleep and not feel like strangers know where I'm sleeping, okay? But when we do eventually move, I'm going to try and film the kitchen because the kitchen has been a part of all of ours being here. And I just want you to stop and see the kitchen and you will see that I was making a lot out of nothing. Believe me. Okay. My darling, it is a different kind of perseverance when you have nearly 9,000 people cheering you on. So I can never take all the credit for me being here. Because every day I wake up and the numbers are going up. It validates the fear that I've always had to go. It negates the fear that, you know what, you're on the right path and you'll find your own. That's all. Right. Now the weather, I always say when making buttercream, this is why I always say, when people ask, oh, what buttercream should I use? And then you give a recipe out. There is so much that one needs to consider when deriving buttercream. In that, much of the success of buttercream also relies on understanding the technique, but not just the technique, the environmental influences that will impact your outcome. If this was a cold day and I was creaming just this butter, I will give it a full 10 minutes because it's a cold day. I'm trying to sort of cream the butter, and the creaming is essentially, it's a mechanical process by incorporating air pockets to expand the butter in there, which will thereby affect the color and appearance. It affects the volume and everything. By so doing, it leaves room for the sugar to mix, creating the emulsion of sugar and butter, which is what you call buttercream. But when you have a day where it's not too hot, but it's humid and your butter is melting and it's getting oily, the irritation through the mechanical process here, which is you are trying to irritate the butter by using this cave beater to kind of add the air pockets to the butter. What you're doing is that the more that is happening and the environmental factors, which is the weather is warm, the more susceptible your butter is going to get to melting. And there's only a fine line between creaming the butter right until the structure of the butter gets broken, and you need to understand that very well so that you can sort of derive your buttercream. Because if the structure, because whilst we want the butter to be plain and expand and the color changes, the structure is important because it's like a small brick that you have to expand, but if it collapses, it's not going to yield you any better buttercream, which is why some buttercream, by the time you come to almost creaming the sugar in, you end up with a gritty looking bubbly buttercream with texture in it. And you're like, what happened to my buttercream? It's because your butter has kind of fallen apart, and what you're seeing is a lack of the union between the sugar and the butter has fallen apart. So the result will be gritty, not so smooth, and sandy looking buttercream. You know what I mean? So I wanted to do this for 6 minutes, but I clearly cannot now because the weather is not on my side. So I'm gonna just scrape the side in to get all the butter together, and then I'm just going to add the sugar, and then we'll start mixing this on low. Okay, there you go. Right. We are mixing that in slowly before it kind of takes shape and goes together. For buttercream, always add some salt. You'll be surprised how much salt makes a difference to the taste of your buttercream. It brings balance. Okay, now it's mixed in. Now let's go and get the white chocolate. Oh, Baba. Now, if you're going to add another ingredient to your buttercream, it is important to kind of... Seasons is asking, could you use... Of course you can use salted butter. That is always recommended. Here's the downside to using salted butter. Depending on brand of the butter, the quantity of salt will differ. So you may probably lose control of the amount of butter, salt that... Because sometimes Salt, whilst it brings balance to the taste and gives a great mouthfeel to the buttercream, you want to make sure it's right. The quantity is just right, so you don't have a too salty buttercream. And in my experience of using, sorry people, I don't know, I had something stuck in my throat, sorry about that. Right, in my experience of salted buttercream, I find that it can end up too salty. So here is my tip about using salted buttercream and salted butter for your buttercream. If say the quantity is calling for say 500 grams, divide the butter quantity into 3. So if it's calling for 500 grams, give or take, you're looking at 160-ish, close proximal 3. So only 160 should be salted, the 2/3. So divide the full quantity into 3, and only 1/3 of the quantity should be salted butter and 2/3 should be unsalted. By so doing, you have control of the batter, and if you end up mixing it and the salt is not enough, you can then add extra salt. But if you go for half and half, you might end up having too much salt. Or if you go for the entire quantity being salt, it might end up be overwhelming. Does that sort of make sense? So considering all the sort of tasks you have to go through to use salted butter, I scrap it all together and just add my own salt. But the simple answer is yes, you can go for salted butter. But you know, over here, we always bring context and clarity to the answers we give. So the answer is never yes or no. There's always an explanation to it so that you have clarity. And I hope that answers your question. Christiane, good afternoon. What are you doing? What are you making today, Christiane? We are baking a chocolate cake which is already baking, and right now you've literally walked into my kitchen and I'm making buttercream. Okay, I'm making buttercream that is going to fill into okay, now I have 100 grams of chocolate, white chocolate here. And what I am going to do is I'm going to pop that in here. And I am just going to pour a little bit of cream with my white chocolate over here, just to give it room to melt. That's all. Good Vibe says the buttercream is already looking tasty. Well, I hope so. what I am doing here is I've just melted the chocolate, white chocolate, to make a quick ganache. And what you want to do is leave this to cool because it's hot. If you put this straight in this buttercream, it will melt the butter and the mixture will fall apart. As you can also see, I have left, as you can also see, I have left the buttercream to cream at a speed of 1 to 2. That is because I don't want to overmix it, because I need to add the other ingredients in. So that's all like important considerations I have to make in the buttercream process. But this is American buttercream. You can use it as is, and you could actually mix white coloring into this and use it for piping. So I think I'll come back tomorrow morning to do that, because we need some buttercream for piping details for tomorrow, because the cake will be put together tomorrow, ready for collection on Friday. That's where we are. So I'm just scraping the sides together. And yeah, that's an American buttercream that you can go and use. Easy to make. Let me see what it tastes like. I have always found American buttercream a little bit sweet for me and overpowering, but it doesn't have to be for you. I'm just mixing this together. So for the ganache, I am just going to add a spoonful of cornstarch, corn syrup, because it will help the ingredients emulsify better. Okay, there we have it. And now we have corn syrup in here to kind of help the emulsification process. And now when this goes in, it's not going to be in longer than probably 2 minutes. We just want this to mix in quickly, and that's it. So white chocolate goes on in and mix. Okay, let's see. Okay. And essentially that's our white chocolate buttercream done. Thank you, Lollipop. Right, that's all. It's all mixed together. I'm not doing anything. It's ready to come out. You want to take it out before you overmix, because the thing with American buttercream is it is great and can be adaptable, but in the process of making it, if you're not careful and you interfere with it too much by adding other ingredients, you risk altering the texture and final product. It's all right. It will, if it falls apart, worst case it's gritty, but if you're using it to fill a cake, it doesn't affect your outcomes. And if you're relying on that for piping, you want to be very careful. The small kitchen has things strewing everywhere which is falling apart, but you know what, we are making it work. Okay, because one thing we are going to do over here is make it work. So make it work, we are doing. And if you didn't know what I was talking about, I work from a very small kitchen. Lollipop could even hear the fall of things, so she's like, oopsie, let's add the daisy, and it's oopsie daisy, it all fell apart. Okay, so there you go. We have the buttercream done now. Let's get the buttercream in a bowl. That's white chocolate buttercream. This buttercream you can add raspberry sauce or raspberry jam to, and then you have white chocolate and raspberry. Or when filling the cake, you could opt for the buttercream and raspberry sauce, because what the raspberry or strawberry does is it cuts down the sweetness by introducing some tartness to it, which will bring balance. So there you have it. There you go. And with that done, our buttercream is all sorted. Now let's unplug this friend of ours and then put it back where it's supposed to be. So those are our tasks done. We're baking the chocolate cake. If I had both pans, we should have both our chocolate cake baking. Unfortunately, I don't have the pans, so we had to make one work, which is a waste of electricity. Don't worry, I'm whinging to myself alone in the kitchen. It's like you're not here. I know you're here. I know you're here, okay? But I don't mind you hearing my loud contemplations, my loud inner contemplations, because some days it's like, okay, let's have a look at the buttercream. Okay, here's the buttercream. It's all done. This will taste amazing when it goes to fill the cake, but we can't do anything with it just yet. We need to put it in the fridge to cool, because if we keep it this way over here, it will melt and fall apart. Good Vibe says, you got it, Miss Gladys. Oh, you know, one thing we got to do over here, I've not just got it, I've got you, people. There you go. All right. Now, there you go. We are just waiting. It is so nice. I know, I want to dig in. I mean, I want to stick a spoon in and just sit down. But you know what? This is the sort of thing that will send you into a sugar coma when you finish. It's the sort of thing after eating, you're like, I need to go and keep away from sugar for the rest of the year. Oh, I'm done gardening and your buttercream is ready. Yes, yeah. Oh, so Nicola, you're exercising, you're gardening, you are and you're eating freshly cooked good food. Nicola, who are you again? Hello. Okay. Nicola. Lollipop says she's good. Lollipop is good with the trade. Ooh, you know what? Let me tell you something. I am the most impatient baker. You have no idea. I exist between two spectrums. Either I put the cake in the oven and disappear to go do something else and not worry about it, or I am constantly wanting to open the oven. Just saying. Okay? So, anyway, I just want to show you what I'm seeing over here. Who doesn't like this chocolate cake? Yes, baby.
I don't like freeze.
Freeze. It's F-R-E-E-Z-E. E-E-Z-E. Yeah, Z-E. We are not done yet. We're not done. It's still like, look. This chocolate cake is going to be gooey. It's going to be, oh. Anyway. Yeah, the cake looks amazing. The thing with chocolate cake is that you can get it out of the oven before it finishes and it won't fall in. That's the thing with this recipe. It is still jiggly on the inside. So as you can see, it's still wet. So we can't do anything about it. Nicola, suddenly you want some of... Nicola out here telling me she likes some of the cake. Meanwhile, she's over there cooking great, good food, eating it, and not sharing. Honey, don't worry. You know, I want to share my cake, and there'll be a time in our future where we'll eat cake and good food and eat your food and have fun and talk till the sun goes down. Okay, so don't you worry. Okay, Lollipop. Lollipop is living for the dream, isn't it? Lollipop, you are my person. Lollipop, how is the seagull? Lollipop loves seagulls. How are the seagulls? Like, the fact that you have seagulls in your backyard makes me imagine where you live. Like, I'm like, please, Lord, protect Lollipop. You are not scared of the ocean tides, are you? Lollipop, have you always lived by the seaside? I'm curious. Because for some of us who just like forever.
Rio.
Angela. Angela.
I finished the salad.
Good Vibe says, I want a personal kitchen invite so I can eat in person. You know what?
Can we go and do Carolina Armour story? Yep.
You know what? Good Vibes. I have. It's actually a dream of mine. So maybe in the, it's not a maybe, in the future, which is not too long from now, because we are headed to the 10K mark. And you know what? A 10K mark doesn't do anything in terms of revenue. But what it does is it kind of affirms and can enable an ambition. So I've always said that from my own experience, I was never keen on the idea of a bakery. But for all of you lot's sake, I think in the end we might end up with a bakery. But a bakery where we can have like a place where you can come to and sit and have an experience of eating cake, like the cake that we are baking in real time. Because this will not stop, you know. What this will do is it will transition to the bakery where eventually the live will be happening live in a bakery where your orders will be packing like live for you to see, and you can pop by, and yeah, that would be amazing. In the meantime, there is a part of the future where we can have an online shop where you can pre-order items and then they can go out a certain day of the week specifically, so you know that, and we will bake some of those on a live so that you know that you're receiving the actual product you ordered. So all of that are in the future, okay? All I ask is just support the channel by being here, interacting with the content. If the ads show up, whether you care for them or not, just watch the ads. Don't skip them, because that's how YouTube pays me, you know, the ads. You're watching the video through its entirety tells YouTube that you had a great experience, and then it informs the system to kind of put it in front of other people. And the more opportunity I have in the faces of other people, the more likely we get more people eyeballs on the channel. But that's where it stops, okay? The real reward is in the ads that are placed in front of you. So, you know what? Sometimes I watch my own content and I want to skip the ads and be like, be done. Can I go back to watching the thing? So watch the ads, engage with the content, stay here, don't be passive. All your engagement here, I know it costs you in terms of time. A decision you make to be here all the time, you know, the fact that you have a lot of things in your day, but you get excited to come stop here and have time with me and watch me just deliriously enjoy my passion. It's wild to me, okay? And I don't take it for granted. But for us to continue to get the quality and the value, something has to give. And as long as you continue supporting the channel in the various ways that is necessary, all the things that we hope for will happen in the future. In fact, I can see it more than ever now, because the idea of a brick and mortar shop is expensive. But if we can generate revenue by creating an online store already where you are getting real valuable products that you actually enjoy, like say cake jars or brownies, whatever it is, okay? And we establish like a profitable base in terms of the business over here, we can transition it to an online a brick and mortar then, where you can actually have a tangible place to come to. Because make no mistake, I want to have you in my kitchen but not in my home, because whilst you and I kind of like sort of like each other and we're here, there are weirdos on the internet, okay? And this space is not safe. It's not. You and I, when we kind of interact and we laugh and we gossip and we make cakes and we disappear, don't forget the video is still open to all the demons of this dark place. That's just by the way. That's just by the way. Angela says, can I see the cake? This is my first time in the chat. Angela, if you stick around long enough, you will see the cake, darling. Okay? Just a little bit of patience. Just a little. Okay, Nicola, you're headed out for dinner. Go enjoy dinner, my love. Okay? Have a great time. Whatever you're doing, enjoy dinner. And check back in the community post, and you will see what's happening tomorrow, what time we're going to be here. All my love to you, and always fun hanging out with you. All the best. Have a good evening, my dear. Okay? Enjoy dinner. Ryan says, Jesus loves you. You too, Ryan. You too. I am sure you must have felt the love of Jesus so intensely and so tangibly to be out here in the YouTube space sharing the love of Jesus. So back to you, my dear. Back to you. And I hope you are having a good day, Ryan. Angela, where are you joining us from? And your first time here. Welcome, Angela. Shall we introduce ourselves? Great to have you. I am Gladys, okay? I am the professional cake yapper. I like to yap about cakes, okay? Occasionally, we talk about random stuff too, okay? But we are amongst friends over here. We are amongst friends. We are amongst Lollipop, your Nicholas, your good vibes. Good vibes is out here, just full of vibes, honey, okay? And everybody here in the chat. So where are you joining us from? Your names, I'm going to make a wild assumption. Don't bite my head. Forgive me if I'm wrong though. Your name suggests to me you may be Nigerian. And if you're Nigerian, you are my neighbor. Okay? Because I'm Ghanaian. Okay. I'm just nosy. I'm looking at what my neighbors are doing over there. Okay. Brenda. Brenda. Hi there, darling. Great to have you. Brenda, where are you joining us from? Is it your first time you're stopping by, Brenda? We are baking, by the way, for all of you who might just want to know, we are baking a chocolate cake, and right now we are waiting for the chocolate cake to be done. It's been in since 6:20. And last time we checked, let's have a look again, because you know what? I am such an impatient baker. Okay? I am so impatient. I can't wait. So when you bake your cake, do not take it out. Okay, it's still wet on the inside. It's going to take a little bit of time, but you know what? I am going to try. Is anybody like me who goes shopping for something and then forgets and comes home? Like I went shopping today, right? The cake is going to be good. Like I went shopping today for stuff that are important, and I realized that I forgot the cling film, the foil, and everything that I needed to make the cake. I forgot, because when the cake is baked on the top as is, it is now, and the inside is a little bit jiggly, what you want to do is wrap the entire thing in cling film so that it will preserve the top from direct heat and keep it baking evenly. But now I don't even have foil. But anyway, that's by the way. Carmen is here. Hello from Ohio. New to watching you. Have a blessed day. Carmen, thank you for stopping by, and thank you for spreading so much love here and wishing us a blessed day. Back to you, okay? I hope you have a good day too, whatever you are doing. And for the rest of you who are in the chat, if it's your first time you're seeing us over here, thank you for stopping by, even if it's for a passing minute, okay? We don't take it for granted, especially when you just stop by to say hi. It's almost like you're walking on your street and you see someone standing by their door, and it kind of says a lot about you though, you know, in a good way, that you're greeting everyone you're seeing by and passing them a smile or a hearty message. It is what is lost around our world these days. My neighbors, don't tell them, but my neighbors, some of them, if you say good morning, they like. What does that even mean? Tara is back. Tara, our friend, seasons, yeah. And yeah, they do that. Yeah, I have those ones. Like, yeah, I'm telling you, like, some of them, like, the moment they see you coming, if say, yeah. Okay, now let me tell you a bit of my house business, okay? Some of them, when you see them and they're walking the dog, and I am a very chatty neighbor. You would know that, wouldn't you? Because, I mean, I make a whole job out of it. I am a very chatty neighbor, so I will greet you and I'll stop by, I'll say hello. I don't know if it's a cultural thing. I don't know. Now, this is me making excuses for people who don't have manners, or people who are just hostile and unfriendly, okay? But yeah, the neighbors, I don't want to make a habit of talking about them, because some of them watch the channel, okay? They do. But they can't ask me. They can't. Yeah. You know what? Tara, it's okay. You know what? Don't apologize for coming in later. The lives are such that if you can catch it in real time, great. If you catch it later, good for you. But don't apologize, darling. I know you've had a long day, so it's okay. Great to have you. And Seasons is saying, yeah, friendly human interaction is so lost, my dear. Oh, talking about friendly human interactions. If you love YouTube as much as I do, there is a new niche that is developing for most people, for some type of content creators who are using human interactions as sort of a social experiment. So for instance, this is what it looks like sometimes. A guy is walking the street with flowers, and sometimes they will see someone and hand them the flowers. Or a guy is walking the street pretending to need help. And I can't help but almost always see that the majority of hearty interactions, or the positive interactions, I'm just going to say it like I see it, comes from generally an ethnic minority, sadly, because it's either like most people, like it's always like there's a guy who runs a channel and he walks around asking people, will you cook for me for £100 or whatever it is, the equivalent money. And it's always some sort of like grandma, my grandma-ish, or somebody who's like, yeah, come on in. And they're either cooking in jollof rice or something. And the other people are like so hostile. I'm like, why are you so mad? Someone is offering you money to cook for them. If you don't want to do it, you can be at least polite about it. But people are so hostile. It's like, why? It's only £100. Seasons, you know what I'm talking about. Am I telling lies? Anne Secunda. Anne said, Anne, hi, Anne. Anne, great to have you here. And Tara, yep. Tara, if you've seen that, you see what I mean? It is always, there are always two reactions, and it's very clear. Anyway, if you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch any of those videos and you will see a guy walking around saying, oh, can you cook for me for £100? And see the kind of people who say yes all the time and come back and tell me about it. There's Anne in the chat. There's Jamriana. Let me call you Rihanna. Rihanna, what's on the menu today? Chocolate cake, Rihanna. Chocolate cake, except the cake is baking and we're just waiting for the cake to finish. Yeah? Okay, Tara, you see what I mean? It's like there's only a certain kind of person that says yes. Hosin, hello. Okay, the cake is still cooking. It is still cooking. I am so impatient. I want this cake done so that okay, it's getting there. It's getting there because it's come out clean. So let's, oh, it's baked so well. Look. Look at that cake. And Secunda. You know what? I'm just speaking what I see. Okay. Why am I picking bits of it? That looks delicious, my dear. I want to eat it. I literally, suddenly I'm like, I'm questioning my life choices. I'm like, whose cake is it? Can I pretend it's for nobody so we can just eat it? But we can't do that though. We just can't. I tell you what, let me go get something. What? But whilst we're at it, you can just have a look at what the chocolate cake looks like. I am just tormenting you. Look at the chocolate cake. Chocolate cake. Chocolate cake. Chocolate cake. It's like, where is the baker? Chocolate cake. Chocolate cake. Chocolate cake. Chocolate cake. Chocolate cake. Look what happened. It fell out. It fell out. It fell out. That's what you get. That's what you get for stopping by. A bit of fun and the cake nearly falling out. Now I can't do anything. Okay, let's. If I try anything, this whole thing will fall apart. Okay, let's try. Okay, yes. Oh, that's helpful. Okay, there you go. Now let's chocolate cake. Chocolate cake. Chocolate cake. Chocolate cake. Chocolate cake. Okay, there you go. Right. We baked our chocolate cake. It looks amazing. Someone says, I want to bring my spoon and dig right in. My dear, I want to do exactly the same too. I just want to dig into this. But if I did that, I'll have to start this whole job again. And I don't think I fancy trying it all over again. Right now, what I need to go do is reline this tin so that we can start baking a whole one again. Okay? That looks delicious. You know, it's good when you think, should I really give it to the customer or should I just eat my cake and find an excuse for why I couldn't make their cake? There you go. We made a chocolate cake. We prepped for the chocolate cake. We made the cake, we baked it, and then we made the chocolate buttercream. And for those of you who are just joining up, I'll give you a peek into the buttercream we made. It's a white chocolate American buttercream. The sweetness of the white chocolate cutting through this lump of dark chocolate sweetness. Amazing. Okay, amazing. Listen to good vibes. Like the video and subscribe. Stick around for more videos like this. On a weekday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we're here on a live. We have a full long form content on a Sunday, and you have daily shorts to kind of catch up on if you don't have the attention span for all of this. The lives are amazing. You get to learn about real baking, and you know what? It's unfiltered. My kitchen is little. My son is around sometime. The postman is knocking on the door. Things are falling apart. It's a shit show, but it works. So come back, join us next time. We're back tomorrow, but check on the community post for updates on what the day is like, because I have to make adjustments for the school holidays. I will see you tomorrow, my loves. All my loves, have a good one. Look after yourself. Be good. Happy baking. I'll see you soon. Thank you always. Good night, good vibes. Lollipop. See you later. Love you all. Bye.